Police officers encounter a wide range of violent and frightening criminals in their line of duty. However, what happens when they find themselves having to apprehend their own children? On December 28, 2022, a witness observed a white vehicle colliding with a traffic light and promptly fleeing the scene. A portion of the vehicle's bumper was left behind on the road following the impact. Approximately 15 minutes after the report, law enforcement located the suspected vehicle at a nearby gas station. Yet, the driver turned out to be the most unexpected person. The 21-year-old named Teresa immediately mentions that her father serves as an officer in the local police department, seemingly in the hope that he might intervene to resolve her predicament. Nevertheless, the officers on the scene believe that the situation has already escalated beyond that possibility. Teresa's narrative becomes even more perplexing than her cannabis use. She asserts that her bumper was already loose due to a prior accident in Pennsylvania, approximately 25 miles away, and it coincidentally detached just as another vehicle, identical to hers, struck a traffic light. However, Teresa has a hidden strategy that she hopes will aid her cause. In the span of just a few minutes, Teresa reportedly invokes her father's name, evidently wishing that he can find a solution to extricate her from the situation. But before her father can arrive to assist her, the police are narrowing down the actual sequence of events and gradually extracting at least some of the truth from Teresa. During this brief conversation, Teresa openly confesses to 3 driving infractions: hitting an object, being more intoxicated than initially thought, and texting while driving, each of which carries its own potential legal consequences. With the truth now revealed, the detectives decide to consult her father, John, but he doesn't come to her aid. John clarifies that Teresa did indeed collide with a deer earlier, causing damage to the front right bumper, but the extent of that damage was far less severe than the condition of the car at the present time. Teresa's hopes for salvation from her father are dashed, and 5 minutes later, he arrives at the scene to converse with the officers. The initial responding officers appear somewhat apprehensive, seemingly expecting John to intercede on his daughter's behalf, especially when he inquires about their supervisor. There have been numerous instances of corruption where law enforcement officers, particularly those in higher positions, leverage their authority to shield their family members from legal consequences. However, it soon becomes apparent that John is primarily interested in gathering information about the incident to form an objective assessment. This becomes evident as he reviews his text messages from Teresa to establish a timeline of events. Despite John's willingness to cooperate with the officers, the on-site sergeant requests him not to become directly involved in the matter to preserve the integrity of the ongoing investigation, which has been exemplary so far and serves as a model of proper policing. Consequently, the focus returns to the issues Teresa raised earlier. She claims to have consumed only 1 alcoholic drink at Applebee's, but it is becoming increasingly evident that she may be more intoxicated than initially believed, a suspicion that is subsequently confirmed through field sobriety tests. After being escorted to the police station by her own father, Teresa underwent a blood alcohol level test, which returned a reading of 0.17%, more than double the legal limit. At the time of this update, Teresa is still awaiting her penalty but has been issued a court summons for driving under the influence, reckless driving, and failure to report a car accident. Teresa's father followed the established protocol correctly. However, the case of Kenneth Adams took a different turn when his father, Commissioner Bruce Adams, tried to misuse his influence to save his son from incarceration. In November 2022, Kenneth Adams was pulled over for running a stop sign, unaware that he was in much deeper trouble than he realized. The officer checked his driver's license and discovered an active warrant for Kenneth's arrest on charges of burglary and vehicle theft. Kenneth suddenly became defensive and refused to exit his vehicle. Kenneth argued that he had already attended court for his prior offenses, but the active warrant still required his arrest. In many minor cases, suspects are responsible for submitting documents proving their court attendance and completing any mandated classes as ordered by the judge. Without these documents, the court cannot verify their compliance. In Kenneth's case, his failure to submit the required documents kept the warrant open, leaving the police with no way to confirm his court attendance. Kenneth was taken into custody and brought to the police station. It was at this point that his father, Bruce Adams, the county commissioner for the local area, arrived at the scene. Bruce immediately inquired about the situation and began displaying signs of corruption, raising concerns about potential abuse of his authority. Bruce's attempt to exploit his position and influence to protect his son from the law is evident, but fortunately, the officer involved stood firm and did not yield. Eventually, Kenneth was released from jail, and the warrant against him was withdrawn. No further action was taken against Bruce. However, the officers who arrested Marion Humphrey Jr., a law student and the son of retired county judge Marion Humphrey Sr., were not as fortunate. Marion was pulled over after an officer allegedly observed him driving erratically, with footage showing his car swerving slightly. After missing his exit, Marion was stopped by the officer, who informed him that he was suspected of dangerous driving due to the officer's observation. Being a law student, Marion inquired if the officer had probable cause for the traffic stop. The officer struggled to provide a satisfactory response and instead claimed that Marion appeared extremely nervous. Notably, being nervous is not a criminal offense and is not indicative of criminal activity. Marion handled the situation with remarkable composure, complying with the officer's requests, asking for an explanation of the stop and his detention. He even called his father to listen in on the entire arrest, a move that the officer evidently did not appreciate, as he subsequently requested to search Marion's U-Haul. Marion displayed remarkable eloquence in expressing the fear that can arise when encountering the police, while maintaining a calm and respectful demeanor throughout the encounter. Nonetheless, Marion was handcuffed for over an hour while the officers conducted a vehicle search with the assistance of a police dog. According to the officer, the dog indicated the presence of narcotics before even entering the U-Haul. As expected, the officers did not find any illicit substances in the vehicle. Marion has since initiated a lawsuit against the officers, alleging that they violated his 4th and 14th Amendment rights. As of the upload of this video, the case is still ongoing.